Welcome to Dub Nation, your home for all things Golden State Warriors. Highlights, hot takes, and pure Dubs energy. Join the squad. This is where champions live.
Sources told me in the last few hours the Warriors will be incredibly aggressive in the marketplace to go find help to continue to retool around their big three of Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. I'm told their priority is finding a playmaking wing defender or a center to add to this group.
Warriors Nation, brace for impact. The Golden State Warriors, once the NBA's untouchable empire, are staring into the abyss. The 2025 playoffs ended in a soul-crushing defeat, Game 5 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves that tore open every wound in this fractured roster. Steph Curry, grounded by a relentless hamstring injury, sat helplessly on the bench, his eyes burning with frustration as his team disintegrated. Jimmy Butler, hampered by a glute strain, failed to summon the ferocity needed to lead. Draymond Green, the heartbeat of this squad, fought like a lion but couldn't stop the hemorrhaging. Sources dropped a seismic revelation just hours ago. The Warriors' front office is preparing an all-out assault on the trade market, desperate to retool around their big three: Curry, Green, and Butler. But the truth is merciless. Curry's 37, Butler's pushing 36, and Green's body carries the weight of a decade-long war. The Warriors' payroll is shackled at $170 million for next season, with $140 million devoured by those three alone. The luxury tax looms at $196 million, and every move risks financial catastrophe. This isn't a rebuild, it's a frantic scramble to save a dying dynasty. The stakes are nothing less than the legacy of a franchise that redefined basketball. Warriors Nation. The clock is ticking, and the end feels closer than ever. How did a team of legends plummet to such depths? Let's rip apart the playoff disaster that exposed the Warriors' fatal flaws. This is about to get real. Stay with me. The Warriors' 2025 playoff run wasn't just a failure, it was a blaring siren of a dynasty in decline. Round 1 against the Houston Rockets sparked hope. Golden State obliterated a 2-seed in 4 games, with Curry torching defenses for 13 points and 3 three-pointers in just 13 minutes in Game 1, on the 20th of April, 2025. Fans chanted Warriors in 6, believing the old magic was back. But round 2 against the Timberwolves was a descent into chaos. Curry's hamstring injury sidelined him for 4 games, and the offense collapsed without his gravitational force. The team's 117.8 offensive rating with Curry, Butler, and Green nosedived to sub-100 in games 2 through 5. Draymond Green, tasked with stopping Julius Randle, was overmatched. Randle averaged 28 points on 55% shooting, dominating the paint with ruthless efficiency. Jimmy Butler's passivity was infuriating, averaging a measly 2 points on 40% shooting, passing up open shots when the team begged for a savior. Steve Kerr's postgame confession was chilling. Without Curry, our lack of shooting was a death blow. It gutted Draymond. It gutted Jimmy. The numbers paint a grim picture. Golden State made just 11 threes in their Game 1 win without Curry, with only 6 from non-shooters like Green and Butler. Fan forums exploded with outrage, calling the roster Curry-dependent and one-dimensional. This team's addiction to Curry's brilliance is a ticking time bomb, and the front office is racing against time to defuse it before the dynasty implodes. The playoff meltdown revealed a roster on its last legs. What's the Warriors' plan to rise from the ashes? Let's unpack their audacious offseason strategy and the earth-shaking moves on the horizon. The Warriors aren't just planning an offseason, they're waging a war for survival. ESPN's Shams Charania dropped a bombshell on the 20th of June, 2025. The front office will be incredibly aggressive, scouring the market for a playmaking wing defender or a dominant center to fortify Curry, Green, and Butler. With $170 million locked into next season's payroll and only $17 million before hitting the first luxury tax apron at $187 million, GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. is dancing on a razor's edge. The Warriors are eyeing Lonzo Ball for his pinpoint playmaking, Nikola Vucevic for his 18-point, 10-rebound post dominance, and Bobby Portis for his unrelenting hustle. A proposed 3-team trade could send Jonathan Kuminga to Chicago for Ball, Jalen Smith, Josh Okogie, and a 2026 first-round pick, per Bleacher Report. But Dunleavy's words echo like a death knell. This is a one-year opportunity. The soft cap sits at $155 million, the second apron at $207 million, and every move plunges them deeper into luxury tax purgatory. They hold a $8 million traded player exception from Kyle Anderson's deal and a $2 million one from Lindy Waters III, but using either hard caps them at the first apron, strangling roster flexibility. The Warriors are betting their legacy on this aging core, but the financial noose is tightening. Fans are splitsome demand, a youth movement, others a final push with Curry. This is a high-stakes poker game, and one wrong bluff could torch the dynasty's remains. The Warriors' reckless ambition comes with a brutal price. One young star's future is in jeopardy, and his fate could rip the fanbase apart. Let's dive into the Jonathan Kuminga inferno. Jonathan Kuminga is the spark that could either ignite the Warriors' future or incinerate their present. At 22, he was a revelation in 2025, outshining veterans against Minnesota with 18 points and 7 rebounds per game. His explosive dunks and lockdown defense electrifying Chase Center. He held Anthony Edwards to 38% shooting in key stretches, proving he's a two-way force. Yet Steve Kerr's refusal to play him, consistently benching him for entire quarters in Games 3 and 4, ignited a fan revolt. Social media erupted with hashtags like FreeJK and FireKerr, with posts screaming, "Kuminga's our future. Kerr's blind." In exit interviews, Curry and Green offered praise laced with dread. Green's words cut deep. His future's bright, whether it's here or somewhere else. That somewhere else felt like a knife to the heart. Kuminga's entering restricted free agency, and the Warriors face a torturous choice. Re-sign him for a projected $44.8 million max deal. Trade him in a sign-and-trade. Or let him walk. A sign-and-trade hard caps them at $187 million, leaving $17 million to fill 6 roster spots. The Bulls, Raptors, and Spurs are circling, ready to crown Kuminga their franchise star. Fans demand Kerr make him the centerpiece, but letting him go bets everything on an aging core. Is this a sly negotiation to lowball him, or the end of Kuminga's Warriors journey? The fan base is fractured, and the fallout could shatter this team's foundation. Kuminga's saga is only half the storm. A deeper crisis looms, one that could redefine the Warriors' identity. Is Jimmy Butler the chain holding them back? This one's a powder keg hold tight. Jimmy Butler was supposed to be the savior, the battle-hardened warrior to propel the Warriors back to glory. Instead, his 2025 playoffs were a disaster that shook the franchise. Averaging a pitiful 2 points on 40% shooting against Minnesota, Butler's passivity infuriated fans and drew a blistering rebuke from Dwyane Wade, who roared, "You're Jimmy Butler. Take the damn shot." His injury history is a deafening warning. 2 straight postseasons derailed, from a 2024 ankle sprain to a 2025 glute strain that limited him to 28 minutes per game. At 36, with a $37.5 million contract, can he still be the secondary star next to Curry? Trade rumors are erupting. The Warriors' failed pursuit of Kevin Durant in February 2025 signaled doubts about Butler's long-term fit. A blockbuster for Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, or even a fantasy swap for Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the table, per NBA insiders. But trading Butler risks fracturing the locker room. Curry and Green swear by his leadership. His game struggles against disciplined defenses, relying on paint drives that collapse against length, as seen in his 4-for-12 Reals shooting in Game 5. Pat Riley's refusal to max him in Miami screams caution. Butler's body is breaking down, and his passive playstyle clashes with Kerr's motion offense. If the Warriors expect him to be Batman without Curry, they're chasing a mirage. This choice could bury the dynasty or spark its final flame. The Warriors stand at a crossroads that will etch their legacy in stone. Let's weave it all together and chart their path to redemption or ruin. Warriors Nation. This is the defining hour. The 2025 offseason will decide whether the Warriors reclaim their throne or vanish into history's footnotes. With $170 million locked into next season and a luxury tax lurking at $196 million, every decision is a gamble on a razor's edge. They must land a playmaking wing defender, or a center Lonzo Ball's court vision, Bobby Portis's ferocity, or Vucevic's post-dominant Sato, mend this roster's gaping wounds. Jonathan Kuminga's future is a powder keg. Sign him and build a bridge to tomorrow, or trade him for a win. Now jolt. Jimmy Butler's passivity and injuries demand a verdict. Keep him, deal him, or pray he rediscovers his bubble Jimmy fire. Steve Kerr's system thrives on shooting and size, but his rigid rotations are a relic fans, demand he adapt or step aside. This is the oldest core chasing a title in NBA history. Curry at 37, Butler at 36, Green at 35. The odds are merciless, but Curry's sorcery has shattered logic before. Warriors Nation, rise up, demand accountability. No more excuses, no more collapses. Drop your thoughts below. Keep Kuminga. Trade Butler. Blow it up. This is our battle fight, with everything you've got. Until next time, stay relentless. This is Dub Nation, where Warriors never back down. Hit that like, drop a comment, and stay locked in for the next big play. Till next time, Dubs out.